Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarborough here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for Tarot Scopes. We're going to be doing the Tarot Scopes for the sign of Capricorn for the month, for the year 2023, and also for the month of January. I will let you know at what point in the reading January comes up. But we're gonna, first thing I want to do is just sort of go a little over a little astrology that could affect your Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising, and a couple of important things happening in 2023. Pluto is temporarily moving out of your sign, Capricorn, and moving into Aquarius. It's going to be moving into Aquarius on the 23rd of March, and it's there until June 11th. When it goes back into your sign. So after about 18 years, has it been? 2008, 2023. Oh no, I have to do math in my head. However many years that is, I should do the math, right? Oh my God, I can't do math in my head. That's the problem. I can do it fine on a piece of paper, but I can't hold the numbers in my mind. Isn't that strange? So let's see, 2023, 15 years? Yes, it's been Pluto's been in your sign for 15 years. And I know you know it because you felt it. And you get a little respite from that. So that's good. The other thing is that your ruling planet, Saturn, moves out of Aquarius and moves into Pisces, and that happens on the 6th of March. There's a big shift in March. Things are really sort of shifting into sort of a new paradigm, and we're going to get a view of what perhaps just like a hint of what might still be useful for us and what is no longer useful for us. And I think that's something that we have to really take a look at. And this is a worldwide thing. It's not just, the whole structure of our society is being reformed in a way. And that, of course, has been in part to the fact that Pluto has been in your sign, because Capricorn, as you know, is the sign associated with structure and government and top-down sort of hierarchical understandings. Now, there's always going to be a hierarchy of everything, hierarchy of needs, hierarchy of knowledge. Some people know more than other people. So there's always going to be somebody who knows more than you or in the like, but we're going to move towards a more egalitarian, or hopefully a more egalitarian society through the time that Pluto is going to move through Aquarius. So, but your ruling planet, of course, spent almost 3 years, about 3 years in your sign, Capricorn. That was about 2019 to 2021. And then in Aquarius still in Aquarius at this point. This doesn't move out of Aquarius until March. Both those signs, Saturn, Capricorn and Aquarius, are Saturn-ruled signs. So there's a certain amount of comfort with that. But Saturn moving into Pisces is a little bit, you're sort of out of your environment. However, Pisces does sextile in the organization of the signs. Pisces and Capricorn do get along. So while Pisces wants to dissolve any structures that no longer serve, which is a little bit challenging for the structure-oriented Capricorn, there's at least a conversation between those two signs and an opportunity to learn something and to actually build something better because of the experience of Capricorn. So that's kind of interesting. The other thing that's happening this year that's of significance is that the nodes of the moon are shifting. That doesn't happen till the end of July. So for the pretty much the first half of the year, we have the North Node still in Taurus, the South Node in Scorpio, and then I think it's July 28th or around there, we have the shift in the nodes where the North Node moves into Aries and the South Node moves into Libra. The interesting thing about that is right now, the ruler of the North Node is Venus. And when it shifts, the ruler of the South Node is going to be Venus, and the ruler of the North Node is going to be Mars. So then, you know, the sign that Mars is in and all that stuff is going to be pretty important at that time. So we'll talk about it when we get there. There's plenty of time to talk about this stuff. Let's see if there's anything else I can think of that I might want to talk about. No, that's pretty much it, I think, for Capricorn. So you get a little bit of a respite for a couple of months, getting Pluto out of your sign, but then it comes back in and goes out and comes back in. And then by 2025, I believe, Pluto is completely moves into Aquarius. There is a on the first of the year, Venus, the first aspect of the year, at least on the eastern seaboard here in the U.S., is a conjunction of Venus and Pluto in your sign of Capricorn. Actually conjunct the Pluto of the United States. This could be the military-industrial complex, and that's something that we're going to have to really take a hard look at this year. But that's more of a political thing than an actual thing that, you know, your personal Capricorn reading might indicate. So let's take a look. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a poll using the Illuminated Earth Oracle deck. I'm going to pick 3 cards. So this is going to be for the year 2023, and then we're going to do card reading. So let's see what the Illuminated Earth Oracle has to say for us, or to us, for Capricorn. Can you hear my bird in the background? Oh my God. So funny. All right. We don't know what sign he is. He's a little bossy, so have a little Capricorn in him. Not that I'm calling you bossy. You know. All right, let's see what we have here. We have, ooh, the multiverse. The multiverse. This card speaks of, and then it's hard to read it. They're hard to read, but they're beautiful to see, right? Trying to get the best view here. There we go. This is an awareness that there are different levels of consciousness in and around our planet, on and around our planet, right? There are these different possible future scenarios, or just possible different sort of worlds that we all kind of can live in. And I think that we see that already with the expansion, right, of the internet, which is incidentally having its Saturn return. But we sort of can see sort of groups, like little cells, really. I mean, I know they use that when they talk about terrorist cells, but it's groups of like-minded, vibrating similarly, sort of worlds that people inhabit now. And I think the challenge is going to be, how do you connect those worlds so that we can work as an organism, instead of sort of fighting that we're right or you're wrong or this, that, and the other thing. It's a way perhaps of helping us to accept people for where they're at and allowing them a space, as long as they're not doing something that's going to harm others, right? So so that's the multiverse. Let's see what else we have. We have the attachment card. Okay, so you still have some things that you're holding on to. Old things that need to literally be scraped off the hull. How else would a Capricorn do it if it's not an actual physical scraping off of something that is calcified or something that is ossified? Capricorn rules the bones, calcium, and that stuff. So this is also for you to perhaps be aware of your bones and your joints and take better care of them. Avoid the kinds of things that are going to create inflammation, because inflammation causes the body to lay down more calcium, and that's what makes us arthritic. So a lot of arthritis is actually dietary stimulation. And then, of course, trauma will also do that. But a lot has to do with the diet. So that's something you may want to consider. And then we have phenomena here, phenomena. And in this card, it's interesting because I always see this card as the earth that we live in and the possibility of a light-filled planet, right? And this is really what we've been going through this process. So while you will have some a little respite when Pluto goes into Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is a sign associated with Saturn. So there's still the influence of Saturn, your ruler, with Pluto in Aquarius, but we also have Uranus that comes in with that. So when Pluto's in Capricorn, it's connected to Saturn. That's it, right? When it moves into Aquarius, it's still connected to Saturn, but then we bring in the Aquarian energy. And if you want to know Saturn, Capricorn, Aquarius, the challenge between those, you just have to relive 2022 because and 2021, because there was a square between those two planets. So that challenge between the old and the new is still going to happen, and there's still a rub with that. So we're not quite done. There are still some structures that are hanging on tight, but they too shall fall away eventually. And you can feel that in your own life. I mean, I'm talking about more worldly things, but you certainly are going to feel that in your own life. And as far as Capricorn countries, England, Great Britain is a Capricorn country, so you can see what they're going through, right? Okay, so let's do a card reading, and I want to use I believe my Druid Craft Tarot. I just have to move a few things on my desk. This is a very un-Capricornian desk, let me tell you. All right, these are big cards. It might take me a little while to shuffle. So what do we need to be aware of for Capricorn in the year 2023? What does Capricorn need to be aware of? Oh, goodness gracious. Of course, this time of year, the holiday season is Capricorn's time of year. It's about traditions. Of course, and one of the most traditional of holidays is Christmas. And but this Christmas, we have a moon in Aquarius. So we're again getting a taste of the future in the most traditional settings. All right, almost done. Almost feels right. These are enormous, so they're very hard to shuffle. Plus, my desk isn't that big, so I have to make sure I do it without dropping everything on the floor, because then if I have to bend over and get stuff off the floor, it's a very small space. It's not pretty. Not pretty. All right, let's see what we have here. We start with the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups. You're feeling somewhat disillusioned. You're feeling like it's difficult to make a choice, perhaps. this can be like, and you see this guy's looking in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is there? 6 cups. He's looking into the water, and he's looking at these 6 cups. These are his imaginings, and yet right next to him is a cup that he's not paying attention to, which is very interesting. I don't think I've ever noticed that in these cards before, but I think this is saying, instead of wasting your time on imagining things to be better, it's time to take the cup, take the reality that you have, and drink from it, because that's going to help you make better decisions as you move forward. And you know, you're a Capricorn, so you're generally pretty practical and pretty, you know, if this is what's going on in the world, this is what's going on in the world. It's not like particularly imaginative, but this could also be the influence for you of Pisces moving into I'm sorry, Pisces, Saturn moving into Pisces. This is what this feels like to me. And that the other thing about Saturn moving into Pisces is it's not just about dissolving away structures that no longer serve us, but it's an ability to manifest, plant the seeds of manifestation for that which is in your imagination, right? In your imagination, but based on what you know about yourself. Based on 7 is about know thyself. And 7 of Cups is know your feelings. Oh no, not your feelings, Capricorn. Of course, Capricorn is very deep feeling. Of course, that was a joke. Did you find it funny, Capricorn? If you did find it funny, then you're probably more advanced. If you got mad at me, then no, that's a terrible thing to say too. All right, I'm just going to stop on all that. Let's see what challenges it. Ooh, the Princess of Wands, new information coming in. New information, youth. There's youth here. There's messages coming in. The world is alive with newness and new ways of approaching things. And that's the challenge, because sometimes Capricorn can be a little staid in the way they think things need to be. At the root of the reading, we have the Two of Wands. This Two of Wands always reminds me of somebody standing in a doorway and in a portal of some sort, walking through a new door, right? A new sort of reality. This is an Aries vibration, actually, the Two of Wands. But it is about, in this deck, it's about moving into you're on a new journey. It's a challenge, but it's where you're standing. You're standing at the precipice. You're standing in the doorway of the new life, and you're sort of looking at it, and you're observing it. And you're looking to evaluate what it is that you have to offer and what it is that other people may have to offer. This is about communication to a certain extent. 2 is always about 2 things, like it's relative. 2 has a relativity to it. 1 is I am, and 2 is, oh, look, there's somebody else in the room, right? So there's this energy of, you know what you have, now you have to see what other people have, and how are you going to move through this, how are you going to work together with other people, right? That's and the wands are also commercial. How are you going to commercialize your light, commodify your light, get it out there, perhaps make a living of shining the light, perhaps, or just seeing the changing environment and then moving from that point. Because by the time you get to Capricorn, you have so much experience, and it is about building still, and it's almost like seeing what has worked, what hasn't worked, and how we're going to build for the future. That's kind of where this sits. This particular reading sits. So there's going to be a lot of observation this year for you, Capricorn. In the past, we have the Three of Cups. This is friendship, fun, maybe a little bit too much alcohol and food, just maybe a little bit too much food and alcohol. But hey, we need to, we have to celebrate. It's been a long, hard slog, has it not been? In the sky, we have the Strength card. This is spirit telling you need your voice needs to be heard, but it also is telling you that you have the strength that you need. You have the strength that you need. You have the ability to manifest and to move forward courageously. The thing is with this vibration is that it does require you to know when to say something and know when not to say something. So there's that, again, that balance, as indicated by the Two of Wands. In the immediate future, and this is for January, I would see this as the January card in this reading. We have the Princess of Swords. It's important that you keep your ear to the to the grounds, perhaps, or to the air. This is about keeping your ears open and listening for things that perhaps listening to the song of the wind, so to speak, and being mentally aware and ready to take an action when it's time to take an action. This also sometimes is associated with somebody saying something, or gossip, well, not so much gossip, but a hurtful word perhaps, but it may come to a core truth for you. And so listen to what's being said. You don't have to take it in and personalize it necessarily, but utilize it for your next step. You just have to keep your ears open in January. Okay, how it's seen from the outside. You're seen as somebody trustworthy, somebody who cares about other people. The Queen of Cups is a water sign. Capricorns aren't necessarily, their emotions aren't spoken of very often, but I know a lot of Capricorns, and they are deep feeling signs. They just don't always put it out there because they don't want their sensitivity and their vulnerability to be sort of seen as a weakness. Sometimes it's actually a deep strength. And I think that the more that you develop into your Capricorn-ness, the more you realize that Capricorn is one of those signs that's much easier as you get older than it is when you're younger, because you come in old and nobody listens to you. And then by the time you're older, you're okay with who you are and what you've accomplished and what you've brought to the world. And you let go of all that judgment, other people's judgment perhaps, and even maybe a little bit of your own judgment of yourself. So I feel like you're really seen for the strength and the compassion that you have. Your domestic situation. We have the Five of Cups. So there's some loss here. There are some things that that are moving out of your life. And what this card says is that, and this is your domestic situation, so this is maybe somebody close to you. I know a couple of Capricorns who've actually lost some people in their family. And so there's a continuing mourning of that, and yet the Two Cups lie behind him. So there's a time for mourning, and then there's a time for getting over and moving on. So it's okay to mourn your losses, but don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up, because that can be a little depressing. Your hopes and fears, Lover's card. Maybe some of you are hoping for a relationship, but Lovers is even more about choice than it is about anything else. This is kind of a nice Lover's card, though, don't you think? It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's the coming back together after separation. I think that's probably what you're hoping for. You're hoping that things come back together after so many things were blown apart. Let's see your outcome. Ooh, you're gonna like this, Capricorn. The King of Pentacles, the Capricorn card. Woo, woo, there you are, the head of things. Once again. Yeah, so you're in charge, you're large and in charge. There are some issues that you need to deal with, some emotional stuff that's still hanging around that needs to be worked on. And of course, with Saturn and Pisces, you're not going to have a choice anyway. So this Saturn and Pisces is going to be significant for you to heal some of the wounds that you have accumulated, perhaps while Pluto was in Capricorn, or just in general. Now let's see if we can pull a major arcana. Now I'm going to read this. This says the Firut, which this is the Temperance card. So this is a spiritual initiation. You are going to move on to a whole new level, Capricorn. You are moving through a spiritual initiation, and you will be healed and in charge. Let's see what's underneath it all. The Six of Pentacles. This is about fair distribution of resources. The Six of Cups. This is about nostalgia, looking back to the past, the halcyon days of childhood, as it were. Ooh, and the Two of Cups. Love, Capricorn. There is love in your life. There is love in your life and community service in your life. So really, really nice cards, Capricorn. Despite the fact that we started with the Seven of Cups, you've been through a lot. And one thing about Capricorn is they don't do things quickly because they know everything takes time. And let me tell you, it's been a long slog. And I've said this a couple of times to the Capricorns when I've done the readings. You know, things are going to get easier for you, I think. Yeah, it's been hard, but you know, it's being a Saturn ruled sign is not easy. The fact that you come in with Capricorn in your chart says that you're ready to take on some responsibilities, and the major responsibility with Capricorn is taking responsibility, is self-responsibility. You cannot be the head of something if you're not willing to take responsibility. It's a nightmare and a disaster, and we have experienced that, have we not? So we understand that. But yeah, so have yourself a wonderful year, and I'll see you again at the end of the month for the Tarot Scopes for February 2023. It's a wild ride, guys. It's a wild ride, and we're gonna ride the beast together. All right, everyone, take care. Have a lovely holiday. This is around the holiday seasons that I'm doing this, and we're gonna trip the light fantastic together this year. So I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Namaste.